Oh.
When I start making love, I don't just make love, I be stroking. That's what I be doing. I be stroking. I stroke it to the east, and I stroke it to the west. I stroke it to the woman that I love the best. I be stroking.
What I be doing?
Let me ask you something.
Have you ever made love in the bottom? Let me ask you something. Have you ever made love at midnight under a blood moon with a virgin girl and some demon named Boxes? That's what I be doing. I've been stroking for the devil. Hello and welcome to the House of Savage.
Hello.
Hi everybody. I'm Joey.
I'm Mike.
I'm Andrew.
And we are the House of Savage. We are three men. We are three different men. Very much the same. We like to ape fuck women that we enjoy. We like to eat meat. Ejaculating is pleasurable. We like to partake in things that make us feel different than sober. Won't like to go over exactly what they are. For me, it's called Charlie's Magical Chalk Dust, and it makes me feel really good. It's damaged my nasal cavity, and every time I go into a mountainous region, the pressure in my ears is the price I pay for the game I play. Alright, welcome back. Sorry, I went on a psychotic rant about, I put on the song Summer Place by the Lettermen. It's a really beautiful old 60s song, you know, there's a summer place. And I was saying how that would be the perfect song to commit like a mass murder to.
It should.
Like it would drown out the horrible blood splatters and the curdling screams and just, you know.
Can we play a little bit of it?
Yeah, I don't know how well they'll be able to hear it, but you know what?
That's their problem.
We'll try to give you a piece of it. It's probably gonna sound like
That's what it would sound like if you were like in the trunk while the massacre was going on. So imagine if that's what it sounds like for you. Imagine you're stuffed in the chest with your knees duct taped up to the small of your back, and you're fucking, you know, wearing one of those PVC chastity belts, and you'll be used later. After the bloodshed.
Alright, so that's the fucking song.
Yeah,
that's what it's.
You want to paint a picture?
It's called "Theme from a Summer's Place" by the Lettermen. If you really want to sit there and fucking like play GTA to it or something.
I love that shit.
I've never played as a man. I can say this. I feel like if you're a gamer guy, and you're like one of those more type A type of guys that like wouldn't just like fuck a girl like in the back of the Denny's, like you play all the missions and you want to get all the secrets. I've never played a mission on any of the Grand Theft Auto games that I own. I play a game that I call Final Stand, where I imagine what I would do if I had the limitless arsenal that you could dial up on your cell phone, apparently, like there's cheat codes, and you dial a number and all of a sudden you have like a bazooka somewhere, even though you can't see it and shit, and AR-15, handguns, and I just try to make the grandest stand possible.
Just like pick a nice spot, good vantage, and just start mowing people down. Is that what you're saying?
When I'm having a really sad day, like if I'm really sad about something, I like to take the bazooka and aim it at my feet in front of like a large pedestrian area, just blow myself up.
So you go fucking suicide bomber stuff.
Yeah, but can you imagine with a bazooka? Like
terrifying.
Yeah.
Could you imagine like you're walking out from somewhere like, that was a great lunch. What the fuck is that guy doing?
There's a summer place where I am safe and warm.
I'd like to think if I found myself in a moment like that, I would just be like, oh, fucking A. Like, just like, hey, try and laugh. Okay, fucking hope I die quick. Fuck.
I asked my dad when he was dying what he thought like if there was like a hold music in purgatory, what he thought it would be. He said that fucking annoying song by that fucking slut, Cyndi Lauper, Time After Time. I can imagine on a loop. So hopefully if I ever have to kill myself by shooting a rocket at my feet, I will not have to hear Cyndi Lauper's Time After Time. Although, like, it is really beautiful. Like, but look, give me a little piece. Ready? One,
It's a
two.
sweet song.
If you love, you could look, and you will find me. Time after time.
I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
I thought you were going to hold down the root. I was trying to hit that fourth. It didn't work out the way we wanted to, but this is live podcasting.
Live
It is what it is.
podcasting. We'll have to work on our harmonies.
We don't have money to get the editing software, to do the cool stuff like the guys who do the video game reviews. You're not going to see no fucking 8-bit pony coming across the screen. Okay, guy? So, as always, the House of Savage is brought to you by Dab Hub. Dab Hub is a culture website that doesn't exist yet, but it will. Dab Hub is coming soon, but they sponsor the House of Savage. They are a functional glass art emporium that delves into hate porn radio.
No, there's none of that actually at all.
It's not really hate porn radio, actually. It's just kind of like culture, Howard Stern show-esque fucking insanity. Focus on the glass shop. It's a place you can go and do things that adults can do and enjoy stuff that adults do.
Well, we all go to be adults. There you go.
And if Mike won't let me have my hardcore pornography dreams of just like dead women, then I'll always just put up links at least because I don't want to leave any of our true believers hanging. Yeah, you know that fucking website dogfart.com? Awesome. Those guys are
target audience.
No, but really, it's a glass emporium. It's a culture website. It's really nice. You should go check it out. And there won't be any snuff films on it, so you don't have to worry.
Not right in the beginning. We might elevate to that if we need attention.
If we
need
to kill somebody on film.
If we don't have enough internet points,
it
might become a snuff site.
It might,
but we have
the throne of Satan. Bring her to me. It's like, man, that's a Cabbage Patch Kids. I often wonder at night before I go to sleep what Corky from Life Goes On is up to right now. You guys ever wonder about what happened to Corky?
Probably eating a cookie.
Why not? I was eating cookies earlier today. So.
I mean, at any given time of the week, you could catch me eating a cookie.
Exactly.
I mean,
I want to apologize to my girlfriend. I'm probably going to go to the dollar store after this and buy 2 packs of cookies and go into a diabetic coma. So if I don't pick up my phone till tomorrow, I've made a decision.
We were talking about pizza earlier. That's what I've been thinking about.
I'm just kidding. I have cataracts already. I can't eat cookies. I'm just playing.
How does that correlate?
I'm in good health. I just I just because I inhaled some shit in my chest and now I feel right. So this is some men hanging out, being men. We're goofballs.
Goofy men.
Sometimes we get serious about things and get angry.
Occasionally serious. Generally goofy.
Mike is the best hype man in the business. I take him to work with me, so when I'm showing people vaporizers and stuff, I'll be like, this vape is really one of the best on the market. It ain't nothing better than that. I'm like, word.
Actually, that's true.
It is. Like, that happened yesterday, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
I feel like the less I try, and the more I accept my shittiness, the better my life becomes. Is that a sign to not try, or is that just a sign that things are on an upswing and you can hustle right now? What do you guys think about that kind of synchronicity? I feel like the more I lean back, I'm just like, fuck it, let the ocean take the raft to Miami, and just...
Well, there are times it's best to just kind of go with the flow of things and not really put too much force into it. Just let things, grow naturally. And there's no times you gotta get up and do shit.
So there's times to rape life and there's times to snuggle.
My brother would always say,
I guess.
Barbarian mode.
Understandable.
It's time for barbarian mode. You gotta fucking work. When my wife got pregnant, it was like, all right, barbarian mode. I'm gonna work 80-hour work weeks. save money because we're making a fucking person. That shit was fucking terrifying. It's been cool. It's like she's cool, like a gnome that lives in my house. But she's fun. She's cool. She creeps around. She laughs at everything. So it's cool. She shits her pants a lot. That's
I had that problem too a lot.
That's kind of crazy. But other than that, yeah. But barbarian mode. That's what you're talking about. That's the shift that you're talking about. There's times in life where it's like I can sit and sip a fucking Arnold Palmer and just work my balls over in an easy chair. And there's times in life where it's like I can't even wash my balls. I gotta just go. I gotta fucking savage barbarian mode.
Yeah, it all depends on what the situation calls for, I guess. But you're like one of those guys who sees every opportunity. So sometimes the opportunity to take it easy, you have to take it.
Yeah, I went to the wrong church. I thought it said Seventh Day Adventist, but it says Seventh Day Opportunist, and I was like, oh yeah. I can never say enough how much I appreciate Ronnie Shapiro. He was the lead Jew at the church. He taught us to make the most out of every situation. So, what is the scariest thing you think about going through the process of dying of like an illness, like a terminal illness, as a man? Like,
honestly, testicular cancer, I think, is probably one of the scariest things, and that's because I had an uncle that died of it when I was just, a little kid.
All right.
So and I had a scare when I was 18 because I had weird pains coming from my groin. And the first thought that occurs to you when someone in your family has died of an illness like that is,
I have ball cancer.
Yeah, I have ball cancer.
Fair enough.
Hopefully they caught it soon enough, and I can go squeeze some juice into a few cups, and in case later on I decide I want to, make a copy. So, I went through the whole thing. It turned out it was a varicocele, like the vein was twisted up, so it had to be removed, and it was removed, and the surgery wasn't that bad, and I got over it in a couple of weeks. But they're all the way up until that ultrasound, and believe me, there is nothing more uncomfortable than getting an ultrasound by a male nurse who is just way too comfortable with giving your balls an ultrasound.
How's the visual now?
It's good. Everything's in working order. So
that's good.
But it's a very strange feeling to have a guy talk to you about metal bands while he's
doing surgery on
he's got this like ultrasound wand, like for a viewing. It's you've been there, for the baby viewing. That's like that, and he's like, so you like what kind of music do you listen to?
I've had ultrasound on my lower abdomen and shit, and I had to get a fucking pipe up my ass. Same thing. My dad's side of the family, a bunch of people have had colon cancer. There was like a month where all of a sudden I was like, I feel like I swallowed a fucking pine cone in my guts. And I went to the doctor, he's like poking me in the side. I'm like, hey, that fucking hurts real bad, man. And he's like, alright, we're gonna go check you out, whatever. And they fucking, they put you to sleep to do that. And the last thing I feel, they're like, alright, just lay on your side, and we're gonna hit you with the juice in a minute. Bring your knees up to your chest. And the last thing I feel before I go out is the blanket come up and the nurse lube my asshole. And it's like cold and chill of the lube, and then I hear her breathe on her hand and go again. I didn't feel the second one. I was already like fan. And the next thing I knew, I woke up on my side, and they're like, I get the results in a week or whatever the fuck. And they're like, just lay here for a while, you're gonna have some gas, just push it out. And there's like curtains, and it's like a symphony of farts like happening all around you. And I'm giggling my fucking ass off. And this one lady from another curtain is like, my 8-year-old would love you. And I was like, farts are funny. Fuck you.
They are. Farts
and you just blow like 10 good farts. You feel like you shit your pants a couple times. And
there's like a beauty to a fart.
Yeah, especially those ones that come out smooth and clean. You just feel a release of pressure from your fucking guts. It's beautiful. My great-grandmother used to say, "Upiup," that was her fucking Italian slang, Bade's slang. O pip sono bon, o durut sono mal. Like, so if you burp, like, she'll smack you in the face. But if you fart, she'll laugh.
Holy shit.
She'll belt your fucking mouth.
It goes to show everyone the extreme prejudice that Italians hold to burpers.
Farts,
Yeah.
As a Sicilian, I know a lot. I've never burped since I was 6. My father
I'm in
pistoled
front of my
me.
grandma.
You burped? You burped? You pig? You pig?
Fucking animal.
Is that part of like the courting in Sicilian culture?
Yeah, you can only burp in the bedroom. You make another one of those mouth farts, Brenda. You got nice jowls like a Doberman. I like you. You got a face like James Caan. Can you imagine having to fuck a girl with a really hot body with a face of James Caan?
I couldn't do it.
It'd be so hard to do.
I'm a face guy.
Me too.
Pretty face,
Me
key.
too. I can't fuck decapitated people
Pretty
anymore.
face and key and thickness.
You just fuck so many decapitated dead bodies, and you're like, you know.
I even look at a too skinny chick and I'm just like, ugh. I would be scared to fuck a chick that was really skinny.
See, and it gives me faith in humanity that women are strong enough to work plows. Like, we need to give women like warehouse jobs. I fuck some little
I married a
girls.
Russian girl. She's juicy.
I fuck some little girls, like skinny, rail, and short things. And women are resilient, especially when it comes to like having fucking 300 pounds of fucking fat just jammed into their central crotch area from
so
above.
really into the core, yeah.
And like,
It's a very aggressive.
and like,
Yeah.
like when people like lean back.
No, I'm amazed.
Fuck.
I'm amazed.
I try to
Afterward.
go. You know how they say pitch through the ball? Like I fuck through the pussies.
Right.
Sometimes.
Like,
Like
screw your target.
it depends. It's a ratio. It's how much weed I smoke. To like if I smoke too much, then like I'm like only so into fucking because I'm thinking about like how do stars work? Like fucking like things that I should remember from science class, but like I just don't remember. And like, but if I'm like pretty sober, or if I have some of that horny goat weed, forget it. Fuck through the pussy, son.
I never used
Pretend
that
you're
shit
trying
like
to
that.
kill her.
I've never
See how far
tried
you
it.
can take this.
I've used it before. It it does what it says.
I feel like sometimes I could use something that is the opposite.
You know that's
I need,
called
like-
heroin.
I
You just
need,
like
like-
look at her and be like,
I just
no.
need to chill my dick out. I feel like Jake LaMotta in fucking Raging Bull, or
Just put
fucking
an icy hot on it.
I put my dick in a pitcher of ice water. Like I feel like I need to do that every now and then. My libido, my whole fucking life.
Well, you
is
just
gonna-
gotta get the poison out of you every once in a
every day. Yeah, a couple times if fucking if I can. Yeah, man, it's a curse.
See, I'm lucky
I
because
feel like it's a Guinea curse, or maybe it's like just a Latin curse. I don't know. I'm Cuban and Italian. Maybe that's a cocktail for imbalance. Fucking-
my heart supersedes my brain in like a few areas, like very little, but my brain supersedes everything else. And it's been good at like fucking telling my penis like, not today, guy. That's a bad idea. And then my
oh, as far as decision making,
and
it
penis
doesn't get
stands
clouded,
down. The penis stands down, like really, you know.
Yeah.
You're
He
right.
doesn't stand down. I gotta go like I gotta choke him out.
You know, see, like my penis is like the loud guy at the bar.
Sleep,
Yeah.
go to sleep.
My penis is the loud guy at the bar that gets like a little scared when someone like fucking finally goes, "Yo, bro, shut up." Shit. So
Sorry,
you know,
bro. Sorry.
so he's just like,
He's a shrinking violet.
But most of the time, like I have a problem with watching porn because I got to this point where
Porn has gotten boring in my old age.
I think I've smoked so much DMT and done so many mushrooms and shit that like I watch porn and then I think like, fuck, like what happened to this girl? That
Right.
she ended up in a fucking sandwich like 18 black guys and Pussy Man's there in the back with his fucking Franken dick where like part of it's tan and part of it's like fucking light. It's like, why is it perfectly like did they give him like an extra piece of dick and then like glue his fucking purple disgusting head back on it? Like no penis should have a tan line like that unless he wears like a little dick towel by the pool. Like I don't understand that. Like but like how does that girl end up there? And then I think about her like if she had like good parents, like what a piece of shit she is, or if she had no parents or awful parents, like what pieces of shit they are. I just imagine the trailer like Daddy, you're fucking my friends. I don't give a fuck. I bet they I pay for this trailer. I'll do what I want. You want to see my dick? Yeah. You see what I made you with? I'm like,
That's like a real horror life. Like that's
but a lot of those girls live that reality.
Like having a kid now too, man. I think of shit like that. Like, oh my god, like
Dude, I'll get
those are people that are growing up and becoming members of our society, like citizens of the world.
I'll get hard and try
that
to
have
touch
lived that reality.
I'll get hard and try to touch my fucking dick, and then start thinking that, and I like put it away. I'm like, this is a fucked up guy. You know,
Yeah,
this girl
no.
didn't have. And then like when you find porn where you think like, oh, that girl's probably well adjusted. It's like it's not good. It's like there's no foot in the face. You know, no one's looking in the room with a toilet. You know, there's no one like coming out of the closet with little fucking like confetti shooters and shit. Like all my porn needs a very frail Puerto Rican guy playing a conga with like shiny like underwear in the corner, like egging on the sack. But that's because I just watched the Brazilian party videos. That ruins porn for you.
Porn ruins porn for you, like because there's like this. It's an endless funnel that you're going into, and it just continues into more and more.
It's people killing each other and fucking stumps.
Crazy.
That's like where like
we've all. I mean, every. It's I feel like it's safe to say every adult has taken that ride a couple times in their life where they're like, I'm just gonna go look at the craziest shit I can find. Even the most like chaste people, I'm sure.
What happened to smoking a fucking joint, missionary doggy, a little bit of fucking on top, stick the dick in your mouth, have a drink, you know, eat some pussy, swallow a little bit of cum, and let's fucking watch The Simpsons and have a good time. Like what happened to that? Where's that? Why isn't that a fetish? Like
I feel like that's like perfect. Like that
is perfect.
That's the shit.
The goat has spoken. Yeah. The goat has let us know that that is the way it needs to be. Girls, fucking have some self-respect, and guys, don't wear fucking the sandwich suit that you wear to work when you're sitting down handing out flyers outside of your sandwich shop to fuck girls in. You're setting the precedent for bad things to come. Don't listen to my advice either. If that's your thing, I guess do it. But you people are disgusting. I fucking hate you. So, but I mean, I hate, like, my love is hate, and my hate is love, because that means that I care just a little bit. And that's what this is all about. Caring just enough to open the door when you guys show up and be like, let's sit here and yell at my webcam. Let's see what that's like. It's amazing how bright this is coming up on the screen.
Yeah, that's good. Because
this room is very dark and intimate right now. It's like there's infrared on this camera. So, if you're wondering why it's oddly bright in here, why there's flashing lights, it's actually a dark room with LED lights. I wonder what it would look like if we shut off the kitchen light.
It'd look like a party going on.
Fuck it. Mike, will you be the MVP?
Oh shit.
Guys, this is called Mike Getting Up.
Mike on the move.
Mike is a special boy.
I can work the light switch.
It does look like a party.
It definitely looks like a party now.
Now I feel like this is the right setting, like the lights on and stuff. Like Dad's house was shot in a dark, dim dungeon in Lake Worth that had roaches and shit, and random rappers going in and out. You know, you got Dutch. One of the worst comedy things I ever said, but it was really funny, was at one of the cigar bars. We're sitting there. You remember this? And the black people came into the fucking really nice cigar bar, and we're sitting there with my mom and her fucking boyfriend, and I'm like, they're gonna be so chagrined when they find out that there's no Dutch masters here, and like, that's so horribly racist, but it was so appropriate.
I just love the way you're like, the black people came in, and the black people
they
came
were
in.
the only black people anywhere for miles.
I love it. But you have to make the distinction. It's just a cultural fucking thing that you notice, man. If I saw a bunch of little Central American dudes, I'd be like, oh, we got a fucking Guatemalan raid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's you have to make the distinction.
It's grouping.
I think it's humanistic to be like, we see ourselves in tribes.
Dude, look at me, man. I have fucking balls all over my mouth, like these little metal balls I put in my face, and I have like fucking funny pictures on my arm and shit. I'm a piece of shit.
You're probably a gang member and you've killed people.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I assume.
And I welcome the stereotypes. I think stereotypes are funny if you decide to look or be a certain way, or if you are a certain way or were born into something.
Everything brings one. Not even just stuff you were born into. Like,
laugh at that
I carry a gun, and that makes people automatically assume that I'm like super right wing about shit. Like in so many situations, I think like you should be allowed to carry a gun. I like guns. I just like shooting shit. I go hunting sometimes, but everybody thinks automatically that skews all of my views in one direction or another. I think that's that's the same kind of distinction that gets made by looking at someone and going, he's black. I have a fucking immediate opinion where that dude looks clearly Latino of some form. My dad used to always say, like, yeah, in America, if you're in the Northeast, you're Puerto Rican. If you're in the Southeast, they think you're Cuban, and if you're in the West, they think you're Mexican. That's America. That's the three Latin races that are recognized.
That's totally true.
You get lumped in like, hey, fuck you Puerto Rican motherfucker. I'm Cuban, bro. Whatever, you Puerto Rican, dog. Like, fucking, like, every time I went up to Brooklyn in the summertime as a kid, you hear shit like that.
Puerto Rican. Oh,
it was like really funny living in. I lived in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, for a year, and the casual racism like that, because you know I look like a white boy, I guess, the typical white boy.
Yeah, I got the same thing.
And you got the same thing going on, you know. So, you know, I'm there, and I heard the local Latino community who actually turned out to be from Ecuador. I'm fairly certain. They were called Mexicans or Puerto Ricans.
Yeah.
And there was a guy that was driving around in a truck that said, "Load up all those illegal Puerto Ricans." Now, you got to think about the genius behind this guy. You know, all those illegal Puerto Ricans and send them back to Puerto Rico.
That is what makes all of the like internal racism within the Latin community and other communities like that so much more fucking hilarious. Because there's like a ridiculous hierarchy. Everybody gives Puerto Ricans shit because Puerto Ricans get to just come here. Yeah. Cubans are next in line because if we make it to the shore, we get to stay.
Exactly.
And then so on and so forth. Everybody is, the more easy it is to come here, the higher up on the fuck you list you are. You know what I mean? Like, of the Latino community.
I just get such a kick out of fucking, like racist humor. I just do. I think it's fucking hysterical. And it's like, and I feel like everyone should be a target because that's what makes it equality.
There are funny, weird quirks about every race.
Yeah, exactly. We're all goofy as a species. We're a fucking goofy thing.
Yeah, we're weird as fuck.
And like,
we're weird as fuck.
Like Louis C.K. fucking put it down. Like, we're not comfortable anywhere on this planet. We have to build like artificial fucking habitats and.
I couldn't live in this state without AC. I don't know about you guys. It's like you'll find like ads on, like, I'm currently looking, you know, I'm moving, or I'm going to be moving in about 6 months. So I'm going to start seeing what's out there, and you find these houses. I'm like, oh, cool, that house is in my budget, you know, for short, you know, I have to get the hell out of where I'm living, and and it's like I'm reading the description. It's like, oh wow, they got brand new countertops in this place. They've got this and that, all these brand new amenities. And it's like, how are they renting it for so little? No central AC.
Boom. That's the dick punch.
That is. It's a dick punch.
That's a straight up dick punch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, right in your dick.
How's that feel?
Because window ACs just never cut it. It always feels damp. You feel like you're in a motel room.
Yep.
You know? A little bit of shame with them.
If it's a small enough room, it can work. Like, I've lived in efficiencies with I lived on Miami Beach in this like one room efficiency with a fucking Murphy bed, a tiny kitchenette. It was like half the size of this room, and a bathroom off of that, and that was it. And fucking, it was me, an armchair, and a Murphy bed, fucking, and 2 stools, fucking rocking it out on Miami Beach. And it was a great time. And the window shaker worked, but it was such a fucking tight space. And I'd crank that bitch up all day. I'd get home from work, and that bitch would be an ice box. I have a fucking cold drink waiting.
Yeah, I've lived in efficiencies like that.
Those days are the shit. Like, when you look back on that as some carefree motherfucking times.
Yeah.
I look back on that shit with much fun. At the time, I was like, oh, this is the struggle. I gotta pay rent by myself every month. Now I'm like, oh my god, I gotta pay rent and clean ass. Mop out a little vagina every day.
I just think a big thing. I think people are just afraid to have a difference of opinion or just like explore things without fucking getting attacked. Like, you can't attack something or even question it without getting attacked.
Well, people can't even understand like the context of just like kind of like poking fun at the dark side. So I'm talking about mopping out my kid, cleaning her ass every day. But I love my kid. She's like my favorite thing. I find myself like, I put her to bed and I'm looking at pictures of her and I just was with her for like 8 hours. Like, Jesus Christ. Fucking lunatic. She's my favorite thing in the world. But if I can't make fun of the fact that like she will shit her pants and then scream at me and do fucking somersaults while I'm trying to clean her shitty ass, if I can't make fun of how horrible that is, like, then how am I gonna vent that out of my fucking system? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The idea that like she's 8 months old, she'll do a fucking like gator roll. I call her Gator sometimes. So she'll do a gator roll with a fucking shitty ass, and I remember my wife. She'll be like, "I got shit in my hand. I got shit in my hand. We got a shit hand situation. So we got a situation. You gotta run in, grab the kid, hold her up in the air. She's kicking and flicking shit. It can become a fucking horror show in an instant. Sometimes she'll just lay there like, "Thanks, Dad. That actually cleaned my ass. Took a big shit. Sorry about that." She'll just chill. And then other times she's like, "I'm not having this," and she'll fucking attack. She'll fucking do jujitsu right away. And fucking, you have to get it out. Me and my wife talk shit all the time. I'm like, "Bro, I'm gonna fucking leave this kid out back for the raccoons. I swear to God." And we laugh. We have to laugh at that shit. But we fucking give that kid everything in the world. Fucking, she rules our life. She's my fucking fitness coach. I eat when she gives me the opportunity. I sleep when she goes to sleep. That's what I do now. I nap. That's my hobby. I fucking nap.
It's my hobby. That's
fucking. Oh, there's nobody in the house
for
3 hours.
When I was in that situation, dude, fucking, it was the only time in my life I ever fucking fell asleep during the day.
Yeah, man, that's what happens. You look around, there's just you and the dog, and you're like, "Fuck you, get away from me. I'm gonna lay the fuck down." Like, oh. But yeah, I mean, but it's awesome at the same time. I'm watching this little human. She's learning shit from me. She's starting to call me, like, reach for it. That's fucking, you can't describe how cool that feels unless you've experienced it. It's awesome. But it sucks sometimes too. When you 3 o'clock in the morning, she's like, "Hey, there are fucking teeth growing out of my fucking gums. What the fuck? What's going on?" Wah! Like, and you're just like, "Oh shit, I gotta fucking now give you Tylenol or fucking Oragel and like let you just fucking ride it out like you're a junkie coming down hard like, in the fucking middle of my bed, and you're fucking only 18 pounds, yet you take up this fucking huge like meteoroid size fucking space in my bed, and me and my wife are like hanging on the fucking edge and the fucking whole day. It's crazy. Like, that shit's tough, but like the other shit's so cool at the same time. Watching her like just stand up now, she's like, fucking. And it's like, oh fuck. Oh shit. It's like a scene in a movie where like the little alien goes from like the more metamorphosis to the cute little fucking larva to all of a sudden it's like, bro, it's got teeth now. Shit. Oh fuck. And she started like stand up, and we're like, oh man, because she's still just like, she'll be on the bench. I'm just gonna fucking go right off this bitch. I don't care.
Now the 10 of you that are watching this, like, you have to understand something. If you were coming here for just chauvinistic fucking woman hate and family hate, no, this is about manhood.
Yeah. Manhood.
I took care of someone else's children, her 2 twins, for fucking a half of a year. It's not a long time in scope, but I did everything. Because she was an alcoholic. Closet piece of shit. But, you know, I did what I had to fucking do for the sake of them. And, like, I've seen him with his kid. Like, being a man has so much to do with fucking what you give to those you love.
For sure.
And fucking like taking that responsibility. And like that shit's fucking beautiful. And that shit should be celebrated. And there's no pussy shit about that.
No. Heroism changes in your mentality like as you age, I think. Like I used to have like my sports heroes. I used to kickbox and shit, so my heroes were like, you know, guys that I was trying to follow in their footsteps. And then as I got older, I look at my grandfather who worked for Sears for like 35 years. He never took a fucking sick day. He was like just a fucking animal tearing apart fucking truck engines and the keys wherever shit would break down. He'd drive to it, tear it apart, fix it, drive it the fuck back. He was a fucking like real man. I think he would say like, yeah, I used to do fucking a whole truck. I could change all the tires in 14 minutes. And it's like, Jesus Christ. He was like 78 changing the brakes on my sister's fucking car. Like, he was like a fucking man who just like paid bills for everyone for his life. Like, that's some man shit. Never complained about shit. Just worked his balls off. Now he just like kicks it at the casino and drinks rum and coke so my grandmother gambles. Fucking, but
the American dream.
The American dream, hell yeah.
Well, like,
that's fucking heroic to me. Like that's a life of like, you're just a life of
servitude.
Work. Yeah, exactly. You're just
and you're doing it out of love. Mm-hmm. Like fucking, like that's real shit, man. And fucking, you know, guys have such like a fucking warped sense of what macho is, I think.
Yeah.
there's a tenderness to it that I think escapes a lot of people. And to be a real man, I think you have to be fucking, you have to be rich and you also have to be flexible at the same time. And it's like a hard line to walk. And I think a lot of people either become completely pussified or become completely steely and unreasonable. And
I think you have to allow yourself to like look at everything for its individual circumstance, man. You have to like really be open and pliable, because like the more like you can be firm in like certain like value or whatever that you want to instill in your kid or in your family, but you have to be like ready and open, because like look at the world, like you don't know what your kid's gonna be, want to be, see themselves as, want to follow in. So you have to be ready to like accept all if you want to like be a supportive parent in a certain way. Like if your kid's like, yeah, I'm really into murder, I just fucking want to murder people, then maybe you gotta draw a line, whatever. that's the extreme. Like I really like just like hit fucking shit with hammers all day, like I just smash window, like okay, you're being an asshole, like but I mean realistically, like the world's so broad now in comparison. Kids are just inundated so fucking early. It's just like bang, 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 bang. Here's like all this different shit, all this different confusion. We don't like this next generation of kids. My kid, who's fucking gonna be 8 months old. Like, there's no idea. Like, we really can't fathom what it's gonna be like when she's reaching this peak of adulthood that we're all in like our late 20s, early 30s, and whatnot. Like, because our fucking parents. Look how they were. Look at the difference. Like you were talking about earlier today. Like just in the past like several years, the giant jump, like. So what's manhood gonna mean? You know what I mean? At that point in time, what values am I gonna instill in my kid that are still gonna be relevant to what masculinity and manhood is allowed to be in our country at that point? I have no fucking idea. There's no way to guess or gauge what it's gonna be because of what we've seen already happen.
You gotta just live the example.
Yeah, you gotta try.
You gotta do the best you can, but like, that's really the thing is like fucking. That's why there's so many fucked up like girls out there because a lot of them got shitty dads.
That's why it's scary. You know what I mean? You don't want to fuck that up. You don't want to be a piece of shit.
There's a lot of fucked up guys out there too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That had shitty dad or non-existent dad or whatever.
But I think we all have piece of shit instincts as guys. Sometimes.
Humanity, shitty people making shitty people. Like
that's pretty much what happens. It's an endless cycle. Dude, did you see that video of the little kid getting in the fight in Walmart?
That was phenomenal.
The two women getting the fight, and the kids.
The kids hitting her with shampoo
but
bottles.
You can just see it's like
I can see myself in that scenario as a kid.
It's the circle of life. It's the circle of life. It's like this is history repeating itself.
Yeah, I mean it's an ugly thing sometimes, but like there's always going to be that. I think there's always going to be people that are just like willing to go. Like that lady, I think who knows what the fucking argument was about. My head goes immediately to like, why are you in that scooter? If you're like,
why are you in that scooter?
Ready to fight? You're in fighting shape and you're in a scooter. What do you take? Why are you taking that from somebody who might need it? I hate that shit.
Many lazy people.
I hate that if you're handicapped. If I see somebody, I've got into like serious arguments that almost escalated into physical shit because of watching somebody hop out of their handicap space and be like jogging into the store like, hey, what the fuck, man? Like, what's your handicap? Like,
I'm fucking stupid.
Yeah, you got a fucking tender asshole. What's your handicap?
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's really. And if you've ever had to be in a situation where you're caring for someone that's
my
sick,
mom was ill, yeah,
and you know
those spots are very helpful.
Even if they can't come inside, you can at least stay in eyes, in view. It's one of my pet peeves, honestly, when I see that
nasty
shit.
I've never done that in my life, parked in a handicap spot, unless I have my fucking handicap dad with me or something. But like, it's just fucking.
I have parked in a minister's parking spot. I am a minister, and I have a little decal that hangs from my mirror that lets everybody.
But that goes into man shit. Like you see somebody do something like that, I feel like maybe you have some sort of like duty to be like, hey man, what the fuck? Like we're all supposed to be in it together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As a society, we should be holding each other accountable, but we're not allowed to do that anymore because people are the You know, now it's nobody's at fault. You know,
You're a bully.
You're a bully.
You're a hater.
Yeah.
Everybody's bad guy now. Fucking, it's ridiculous. Nobody everybody passes the buck. That's what the fuck it is. Everybody just goes like,
Well,
it was my upbringing. It was my man.
Just
fuck.
own your actions, motherfucker.
Be grown about shit. Take your fucking medicine.
If
If I get in trouble for some shit that I fucking do, you got me. Take me in. Fucking, what are we gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, it sucks, but it is what it is. If you fuck up, you can't always fucking blame shit on everybody else.
no, but it's a culture it's a culture of blame and pass the buck. You know, and it's disappointing.
Well, then you have situations like, all right, Caitlyn Jenner again. Fuck. Whose fault is it? Caitlyn Jenner's fault? Is it Vanity Fair's fault, or is it the fault of everybody who is rushing to fucking see and talk about it and be like, we're fucking talking about it, we're guilty, or what about situations like what's going on in Baltimore or Ferguson and shit like that? Man,
well, it depends what side of it you're on. Like,
we're talking about some fucking buddy who had a sex change when there's riots going on in our country. That should take precedent. We should be figuring out what the fuck's happening there. Not worrying about a dick
this
conversion.
country is like a broken TV channel, is what it's become. That's really fucking what it is. It's just hyper reality is all around us and fed through us to a fucking shit box. Kind of like the one you're watching right now. The one that you're watching us on. Because when I go outside, I deal with people on a normal basis. They're pretty chill.
Yeah, most people are moderate as fuck, man.
I have a pretty chill existence.
The extreme people are the loudest people. That's what it really comes to. People who fucking have an extreme viewpoint are the ones that are shouting.
A lot of my extreme, insane fucking posts and the things that I fucking say are a retaliation to things that I just find ridiculous. Like, I don't care that fucking Caitlyn Jenner's Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah,
I care that fucking millions of people think that that's heroic. To me, that just seems insane.
Seems dopey.
That's my public duty, I feel, I have this perception, I have this viewpoint, and all I can do is throw it out there. And one thing that I think gets lost upon people, I've never ever given an opinion or ranted about something hoping to change people's minds. I just say it because that's how I feel, and to at least inspire conversation and thought. That's really the only thing, because people are going to feel how they feel. And I don't think no one's powerful enough to really just go inside someone's head and just fucking flip a switch. Yep, you're right. I think people are mostly too proud to even admit they're wrong about something to even be humble enough.
It can be a hard hurdle to mount, man, to leap over, to allow the idea of that you might be wrong, because you have to self-analyze. That's why
I like getting
psychedelics. They're special. Let me tell you,
they're great.
Prior to eating shrooms, I think I was a much different person. I was way more aggressive. I think it changed me for the better in a lot of ways. Big time.
I've had a lot of beautiful experience with the mushrooms. But the 10 people.
I mean, all the experiences don't mean anything if you can't bring it, if you can't cultivate it in yourself.
That's absolutely true.
You have to have,
application.
It's application. It's not just it's not the virtue of doing the thing, it's the application and all that. That you make sure you bring those experiences back with you. That you don't just go off into some fantasy and you don't,
Yeah, you can get trained by the best jiu-jitsu fucking fighter in the world.
But if you don't follow under pressure,
if you don't follow, and if that goes out the window when you start fighting, well, as if you can't do that, but who cares? You're not doing it.
Yeah. If you
and that happens all the time. You see that happen all the time in that venue that you just utilize as an example. I mean, I absolutely agree with that. But I just think that jumping to the psychedelic thing, I don't know. If it was more available, if it was less if more people had an opportunity to try it, holy shit, we'd be in, I think, a lot of a different scenario as far as everybody being freaked out about everything.
I think a more powerful thing for people to experience is MDMA, and have the opportunity to experience extreme empathy. To experience raw, and it's completely uninhibited the entire time, and you feel the deepest connections to people, and they last. Sometimes they can last if you have the right setting and you're with the right people.
Yeah, I've never tried that, but I have felt similar to what you're describing with shrooms, where you feel very you feel like an overwhelming feeling of consideration, or you thought about things that you've done before. That like so much like self-analysis. You know what I mean?
I think if you're a mentally healthy person and you're on a psychedelic, that's where it usually ends up going.
That's what
it's
great about it.
I think people
there's nothing inherently bad about them. They don't cause bad trips, and I can say, and I have no problem saying that I've done it a lot of times, and I've done it under very controlled circumstances. Most of those times, I was very into Timothy Leary, and I love Robert Anton Wilson. If you have never heard that name, you should read Robert Anton Wilson, Cosmic Trigger, Volume 1. It's a very cool book if you want to open yourself up to other realities. So anyways, I did all these very controlled experiments and, hypnosis. I was doing self-hypnosis on the side, trying to, more or less do therapy, get down to the root of my issues, identify them, and, either integrate them or, work them out. So, yeah, I never had a bad experience. And this is dealing with looking to investigate those dark parts of myself.
I can say the same thing about, psilocybin mushrooms.
Yeah.
Feeling like I've had heavy experiences, I guess you could call them, or really, like, introspective experiences. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't call them bad. Like, at the moment, maybe they were somewhat frightening or intense, but never was I, like, fearful of my well-being. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was more like a real deep analysis of maybe something that I had done or something that I had said that I felt, very regretful about, or maybe very, contrite, whatever. And those kind of, I think they're so important because, especially like for myself, I was like my whole life, like combat sports and then jobs like related to like security or like, bodyguard work, shit like that. You're just constantly in this like aggressive mentality, you know what I mean? And you have to put yourself in a certain state of like constant like tension, and so what a relief the experience of psychedelics brought, you know what I mean, and allowed me to like really let go of some of that lingering, enhanced tension based on like work, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was hugely important in my growth as like a person. I think made me probably a more patient, husband, father, all that stuff. Like I think it's led to more like a gentler version of myself, which has been positive for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can say about the same. I did go, but they...
So eat the fungus.
Eat the fungus. Responsibly.
Fucking
eat the fungus.
Lock your door, eat the fungus,
and
put on some nice music.
Yeah,
have a pizza.
And people that are like, looking to get into psychedelic and profound shamanic, whatever kind of experiences to open yourself up, like, it's a lot of fun to eat some mushrooms with your boys and like go to the casino, and it's a lot of fun to eat acid and watch cartoons. But I urge you, if you feel mentally strong enough and emotionally strong enough, and you want to grow,
know yourself.
Trip alone, trip in nature.
Ride, look at pictures of your kid while you're on shrooms.
Be open.
She's only potential. I'm holding so much potential. Oh, it's all on me, man.
That's a phone, bro. But, like, really, you have to be open to look at the person in the mirror and really point out all those fucking flaws and come to terms with them, and then realize that for the most part, like you're dealt a face, when you're born, but you can kind of shape your body and whatever. It's like you're dealt a personality, but you could shape your actions into being a fucking really good person if you are aware and that's in your heart. I think the true growth of a man is, finding out what real strength is. And real strength isn't being an asshole as much as it is,
It's actually a bigger effort to be an asshole than it is just
You think so?
I think
it creates so much tension, and like you feel that shit throughout.
Exactly. It's a lot more energy expended if you're being a dick.
And I have relatives that can't slow down, like relatives that can't see how they're behaving because they're just all so concerned about like work and things like that, and they're just driven by just different things, I guess, than me or whatever. Like, and they're just so fucking locked in all the time. They can't just like. I have relatives that can't sit down and watch a movie. They don't have the patience. They just can't do it. It's insanity.
Alright, guys. Well, we're gonna leave you for this installment.
With insanity.
This is just complete fucking off the cuff, having fun. And
We're having fun.
we're really glad that you guys came and hung out with us and spent time with us and listen to us talk about drugs and masculinity and all the things that we talk about. And just want to really let you guys know that we appreciate you. Keep checking out our fucking podcasts and stuff. We'll get better. And I was like, better or not, fucking we're just bullshitting. It's just like hanging out for little dudes. It's hard to be alone. Giving all your love to just one man.
You
Delicious. Thank you guys.
He's hard to understand.
Shit!